So I'm someone who failed university due to PC gaming addiction. It basically meant I ended up with a BSc Ordinary instead of a BSc Honours, which I wrote about in my blog post. I did actually stop in third year, but the setbacks from first and second year were too big that I couldn't make up the difference. It started from getting really good grades in high school, which were good enough to get an unconditional offer. So I did an extra year in high school knowing that I had this unconditional offer where I just dicked around. And this mainly involved playing a lot of League of Legends at night with friends. It sounds stupid as fuck, but I had an internal attachment to my elo. And if you don't know what elo is, it's basically your rank in the game, like gold, silver or bronze. Looking back on it, I think the addiction was caused by three things. First, the elo attachment. Second, the social aspect, and then third, the game reward aspect. Currently, this is 6 years later and I only play games less than 2 hours per week on a weekend, and even then it's at night when I'm not really productive anyway. There was really two things that happened to get me to this point. Contrary to what you might expect, I actually did a brute force stop of playing as opposed to a gradual progression of decreasing my playtime. This is because I was committed to something, and to do that thing I had to be away from my house for most of the day. It was actually commuting from Glasgow to Edinburgh, which is an hour commute to uni, while in first year I was actually staying, which is when I was addicted. So if you work at home, I would suggest you find a low cost place away from your PC, like a cafe or a library, and also use a laptop that's not powerful enough to play games. Like me, you might get that fear of missing out mindset, that you'll miss out on all the fun and all the big major release games in the next couple of years. But that's kind of bullshit, because you'll always be hype for the next releases over the coming years. So if you quit now and eventually get to the point where you retire and have a bit more time to play in like 10 or 15 years, you'll have way more enjoyment then, and you'll be playing those games. It will be really unlikely you'll be investing a lot of time in playing the games that you supposedly missed out on. To prevent myself from playing on the weekend when I had a free block of time, I'd use the cold turkey blocker for PC. If I had a console, I'd disconnect it from the TV and store the cables, the controller and the console at separate locations, which are very inconvenient to access. You need to quit for long enough so you become completely detached from your elo. I would say this is a minimum of 6 months. Your attachment to your elo will decrease, then a free block of time will present itself, and then you'll play, and then you'll become completely reattached to it again. When you become attached to your elo again, you'll put in a lot of time playing to get back to the point where you would have been had you not quit. In essence, you're just putting yourself dependent on your willpower and nothing else. And only being dependent on your willpower is a bit like going up to an addict and saying, just quit bro. If you are playing to maintain a distant friendship, you just need to accept the cold hard truth that you need to put your own life first. You'll never be able to truly maintain the friendship through gaming alone anyway. This was the case for me because I wasn't able to contact a high school friend outside of gaming for the 4+ years I was at university, and we were able to reconnect 2 years ago. Don't think that gaming alone is a way to maintain a friendship, think of it as a way to supplement a real life friendship. Probably the most important part is you need to gamify life. I do this by using a combination of time blocking, Notion and Todoist, but most importantly you need to visualize progress in some way to replace what you got from the game, and I did this in most areas of my life like going to the gym, etc. For more ways to eliminate and defend against distraction, you can check out my other videos or look at the course I did on building a second brain. So that's it, a brute force stop. Don't think of gaming as a way to socialize and gamify your life. Thanks for watching and see you on the next video.